Hello, everybody. We have got an exciting little discussion today. This is Rory Berry from Roaring Berry. And my name's Tina. I'm Tina Southgate. I'm the founder of Destiny Coaching. And we're going to talk today about still finding surprise and delight in trying times. Isn't that right, Rory?
Absolutely. Hello and welcome, everyone. As Tina mentioned, my name is Rory. I run Roaring Berry. I came through the wonderful program, met Tina a few years ago now, and in the last year, in the middle of a pandemic, have gone full-time into my business. And so it's been a grand adventure, and I'm really looking forward to today's chat.
Absolutely. And Rory is one of our very interesting graduates of our coach training program. He is actually a trained actor, and he's also done 8 years of improv theatre. And now Rory has created all kinds of really interesting programs that he's doing in corporates. Rory, why don't you just tell people a few little intriguing things about what you're doing since you trained to be a coach?
So yeah, originally it was a side hustle, as they would say. I had a full-time job and I was doing this alongside as I built the business. And now full-time, I work with individuals and with companies. Sometimes I say optimizing their humanity. And essentially what it is it gives people an opportunity to play with creativity and tap into, in some cases, something that they've forgotten they had. And we just play, laugh, and learn. And I absolutely love seeing those light bulb moments when people realize or step back into the destiny they were meant to have.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And so these times are pretty trying times, right, Rory? It's been a year of pandemic. I mean, who would have ever believed about a pandemic? But what's really interesting as coaches, like Rory and me, both are coaches, professional coaches, is really seeing how different people cope with it and different strategies of how some people are just thriving and enjoying and reinventing themselves and adapting to the circumstances they have to adapt to. And other people are just not, quite frankly. And we're talking about some pretty trying circumstances. You know, I know parents who are just tearing their hair out, having to homeschool. I know people who are losing their jobs. I know people who've lost people, you know, people they love and are going through grief. So why don't, Rory, I love some of the examples you shared about how some people are just tapping into surprise and delight and creativity to really build resilience in times like this.
Yeah. So for me, it often comes back to what I often refer to as children's eyes, kid eyes. If you think about a little person running into a room they've never met before, there is so much excitement about the simplest and smallest things. And yet you send an adult into the same room and they'll be like, yeah, it's got a nice chair, where's the coffee? And so when we can't see the world through those kid eyes anymore, we can retrain ourselves to find that surprise and delight. I know people that in the midst of this Groundhog Day, the same, have just moved dinner to, now I caveat this with, if you have dogs, lock them away or it's tricky, but they moved dinner into the lounge, put down a blanket, put out some candles and had a picnic.
Wow.
Now, it's still dinner, but it's a different location, so it's surprise and delight. And I think that when we can do the mundane in a playful way, especially if we've done the same thing over and over, it reinvents us and reinvigorates us in such a beautiful, powerful way that we can then find that surprise and delight in, well, it's the same Chinese that we had last week, but now it's a picnic Chinese. And I think that's a beautiful way to just experience the world and to remind people that, and just in case they need to hear it, we give you permission to play.
Absolutely. And Rory, one of the things I know we do in our training program is we teach people to coach, really get in touch with their creativity and how they engage the coachees and how they engage their creativity. And, you know, we know that every single human being is creative and adaptable and diverse, and wonderfully made, right? We know that from the Bible, and we know that because we're God's children, we are created because he is the creator, right? And we have his DNA.
Yes.
And that how, like, what do you think are some ways that we can, as coaches, talk about how people can maybe get more in touch with that, to get this awe and this wonder and these kid eyes back?
I think the trick is to not overthink it, because we are all very often card-carrying members of the Overthinkers Club. And when we overthink stuff, we think ourselves out of it. And that's where the barrier comes. Because, as you quite correctly pointed out, we are all creative in our own beautiful, wonderful way. And therein lies some of the other true magic. Our own way. So I can't be creative the Tina way, and you can't be creative the Rory way, but I can be creative the Rory way. So when I'm trying to find that surprise and delight, if for me wandering out into the garden and seeing a bumblebee on a flower gives me surprise and delight and happiness, but I spend the whole day inside and I don't look for bumblebees, I've lost an opportunity. And I think the individuality, we all know what makes us happy and what makes us creative. We sometimes will self-sabotage, to use a term, ourselves to go, no, I can't do that. No, I've got to be serious. There's no rule book. You don't have to be serious all the time. You're allowed to play. We were designed to play. If you think about back in time, stories and learning happened through play. And so we were able to see and learn and experience life through play with fun. And so it's there. It's just waiting to be unleashed. And if you need to start small by buying an adult coloring book, start small with an adult coloring book. If you need to buy some Lego, now I'm unashamedly a big Lego kid. I even have emergency Lego for days when I just need to just play, and I'll play with the emergency Lego, because that's what makes me happy, and that's the creativity that I love. Everyone knows what their thing is. So finding it and re-tapping into it will be a beautifully powerful experience, and it really will reinvigorate and turn something that is the same as everything else into something exciting.
Now, I just want to talk about this for a minute, because I think somebody listening to this might say, well, why do I care about this? How does this impact me, and what's this got to do with the pandemic and all the stuff I'm suffering with now? And I just want to say that this is such a big key to so many of the problems and issues that people are going through right now. So, for example, I mean, I think it's obvious that we're all feeling the monotony, every day looking like the same. We're stuck. A lot of us are stuck in our houses or not able to travel, for fun. And and not able to meet with friends in person, or even if we are, depending on what country we are, it's kind of limited. There's fear around it. So we thrive as humans on all of these different experiences, and having diversity in our day-to-day life. So it's in a sense shutting us down to not be able to have that because of fear and because of circumstances. So being able to find this creative ways of making the everyday, the mundane, as you put it, Rory, different and fun and diverse, I think is really helpful for people's mental health. I think this is actually a big key to keeping sane and keeping good and happy and bouncy in these times, and keeping your energy up as well. Because I don't know about you, Rory, but some of the struggles for myself during this year has been just energy. It's like, because of the same monotonous routine.
Yeah.
So I think what Rory's talking about, these creative ways. I love the example of the picnic blanket in the lounge for dinner, and all the other ideas are actually vital to keep going and not feel that Groundhog Day, that monotony in things.
And I think also part of that is, like, let's be honest, a picnic blanket in the lounge is not an expensive thing. And that's often where we come back to the overcomplicating things. Like, it doesn't have to be an expensive thing to be different and fun. I I mean, let's be honest, we've all ordered a few things from Amazon over the last little while. And so I had quite a bit of cardboard just sort of that I was waiting to send out with the recycling. And I thought to myself, you know what? I could make this into a wall. And so I walled off part of my lounge, cut a hole in the wall for a door, and then put up fairy lights and turned the lounge into a cinema. It cost me 1 roll of tape.
Amazing. I love that. I want to see pictures now. I bet everybody does.
Unfortunately, the construction was a temporary thing and had to come down quite quickly because I didn't factor in the weight of the cardboard. But that was also part of the fun, because then part of the wall fell down mid-movie and we both had the giggles, and it was just something different in the same. And exactly as you said, we've done so much of the same that it has been rough at times. And I think one other thing that we should always be aware of is, especially people that are traditionally sort of the bubblier of variety, there seems to be a weird pressure to be the people that are bubbly all the time. And yet some days we just need to have quiet days too. And that's important for refilling.
Yeah. I mean, this particular year has been a real year of becoming more self-aware of what you need, isn't it? And self-care has been massive. Your mental health, even physical health, how to actually really survive in times when all the normal things that you rely on and survive on are not there. So it's being able to be adaptable, isn't it? And I feel like there's adaptability growing in people, resilience growing in people, and this whole area of creativity, you know, being able to tap into it and be free to think out of the box. And in your case, literally out of the box, to really get through and make life fun and worth living, even in the midst of it all, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. People have reconnected with the journey, not the destination.
Yes, that's really good. That's what's happening.
Because everyone is like, I want that thing. I'm moving towards that prize. I want that X. And we're forgetting that there is a massively powerful and beautiful and creative, in many cases, journey to get there. And so, like you said, we have realized some of the things we didn't need. And in many cases, that's been really powerful and freeing as well, because that's released something that's given us space to be creative again. I think some of my favorite stories around like homeschooling haven't been people teaching maths. They've been playing Monopoly. Now, obviously, it's a controversial one because I know many people that fight when they play Monopoly, but apparently it went well in some cases. Yeah, because you've got to learn the maths of the numbers.
Yeah.
But also you'd learn life lessons about tax and rent.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
So yeah, play does good things and helps us do so much.
And it helps us learn. There's a lot of research on this, that actually when you're playing, you learn better than when you're in studious, serious mode. So yeah, it's really good. Well, I think we'll leave it there today, Rory, but I definitely want to continue this conversation, because I think it's applicable not just to cutting the monotony in these times, but also some of the other big challenges that people have got, like people that are losing their jobs, or people that have lost loved ones, or people that are having to kind of reinvent themselves or think about what's next. And I'd like to continue the discussion on another one to talk about that as well.
I look forward to coming back.
Yay, brilliant. Hope that was fun for you guys. If you're listening to this video, we'd love some feedback on any ideas or comments. That'd be great. Bless you. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.